Has it ever occurred to you that humanity has fallen into a trap? Which one that is, I'm going to tell you in a moment. Just know for now that falling into this trap set off an avalanche of what we call history that is actually responsible for all of the global problems that we're facing today and our lifestyle. But first, let's go back to when it all started about 10,000 years ago, when the hunter and gatherer society slowly and gradually shifted to the first farmer settlements. So what happened was that in the agricultural revolution, people started to settle down because they were focusing on cultivating very few grains, meaning corn in most of the cases, and focusing on very few animals, sheep, geese, chicken. This meant a very poor diet, very hard work, and a very poor health. Let's go back. The hunter and gatherers were super healthy compared to the farmers because they had a rich diet, they worked less, and they lived much longer. So why the hell would people shift from that lifestyle to the other when it was actually much worse for them? See, during this gradual shift were a lot of small steps that people thought were improvements of their situations. Say, besides hunting and gathering, planting some corn. And then actually the cultivating of the corn took so much more time and effort than the hunting and gathering, so people had to settle down. During these thousands of years, the population also exploded. Because if you don't have to carry your baby around while hunting and gathering, you can have many more babies to take care of. The result was that we shifted from, say, 100 healthy, strong hunter-gatherers to 1,000 weak and feeble farmers. That doesn't seem like a very good deal indeed. But what is important is that the small steps in between were always thought to be an improvement of the situation. Nobody planned to live in worse conditions than before. But after thousands of years, there was no going back to hunting and gathering because there were too many people and they needed to be fed because they lived in poverty and constant hunger. So they needed to cultivate more and more and have more and more children so they could work. But then there was more poverty and more hunger. Damn, that seems like a big vicious cycle. But don't believe that nowadays we're much above that level. Think of smartphones. Weren't they invented to make life easier too? Weren't they thought to make communication much more efficient and faster? But what happened? Did it actually save us time? Not really. Nowadays we spend so many hours a day on our smartphones, texting, messaging. Life didn't become easier, it became more complex and more stressful than before. Actually, we're living in that same world as the farmers, just 10,000 years later. But unlike them, we're able to see the bigger picture. Unlike them, we now are able to see the results of what happened to human beings and the environment in the course of history. We now see that the course we took wasn't the best option, and that today we need to shift our thinking and stop believing that faster is always better, more is better. It's a trap. Become aware that we are caught in that trap, but that doesn't mean that there is no way to break out of it. The way to stay in there is the sure way down. So I hope this story was interesting. I didn't invent it. I took it from Harari's book, Homo Sapiens. It's an excellent book. So if this is the only book you ever read, read it. It's brilliant. So thank you very much, and see you soon.